Imagine holding in your hand a small copper coin that's over a century old. It's not just a piece of metal, it's a time traveler, carrying stories from an America that was still shaping its identity in the early 1900s. Today, we're diving into the 1907 US 1-cent coin, exploring its design, its history, its value, and why collectors continue to search for this little piece of the past. Let's start with the design. In 1907, the U.S. Mint was producing the famous Indian head cent, a design that had been introduced in 1859 and would last until 1909. On the obverse, or front side, we see Liberty wearing a Native American feathered headdress. Now, this is an important detail. It's not actually meant to be a Native American portrait. Instead, it's a classical image of Lady Liberty dressed in a headdress to symbolize unity between American ideals and the heritage of the land. The word Liberty is inscribed across the headband, and around the edge are the words United States of America. At the bottom, the date 1907 is boldly displayed. Flip it over, and you'll find the reverse design. This side features a laurel wreath encircling the words 1 cent. At the bottom is a small shield, representing strength and protection. This simple yet elegant design connects the coin to both classical imagery and national identity. By 1907, this design had been in use for nearly 50 years, and it was nearing the end of its run. Just 2 years later, the Indian head cent would be replaced by the Lincoln cent in 1909. Making the 1907 issue one of the final chapters in this beloved series. Now let's talk history. The year 1907 was a fascinating time in America. Theodore Roosevelt was president, leading the country with his progressive reforms and strong foreign policy. It was also the year the U.S. experienced the Panic of 1907, a major financial crisis that shook Wall Street and highlighted the need for banking reforms. Automobiles were becoming more common. The Wright brothers were proving that flight was possible, and cities were growing rapidly as America entered the modern industrial age. Against this backdrop, the humble Indian head cent was part of daily commerce, buying candy, newspapers, or even saving toward larger purchases. For ordinary Americans, this coin was as common as a dollar bill is today. Now, how rare is the 1907 Indian head cent? The Philadelphia Mint produced over 108 million of these coins that year, making it one of the highest mintage years in the series. That means that, technically, the coin isn't rare. Many examples survive, especially in lower grades. However, condition is everything in the coin world. While well-worn 1907 cents are common, finding one in pristine, uncirculated condition is much harder, and that's where the value rises dramatically. So let's dig into the value. A typical 1907 Indian head cent in well-worn condition might only be worth $2 to $5, which is still many times its original face value. In nicer circulated grades, you might see values in the $10 to $20 range. But when you get into higher conditions like extremely fine or almost uncirculated, the value jumps again, sometimes reaching $40 or more. And if you're lucky enough to find a mint state example, especially one graded MS65 or higher with beautiful red color, you're talking about hundreds of dollars. Some of the finest known 1907 Indian head cents have even sold for over $1,000 at auction. It's also worth mentioning that collectors often care about color when it comes to copper coins. Indian head cents are graded not just by wear, but also by whether they retain their original red luster. A coin that still looks fiery red from the day it was minted is far more valuable than one that has toned to brown over the years. So, 1907 cents with the same grade can have very different price tags depending on their color. For collectors, the 1907 cent is appealing because it's affordable and accessible, but it also represents the twilight of the Indian head design. Many people build complete date sets of Indian head cents, and the 1907 is a must-have for that collection. It's also a great coin for beginners, because you can own a piece of 1900s history without spending a fortune. Now, let's imagine selling or buying one of these coins today. If you've got a 1907 Indian head cent, the first thing you want to do is check its condition. Is it worn flat, or can you still see details in Liberty's headband? Does it still have some of its original color, or is it fully brown? If you think you've got a high-grade coin, it's worth considering having it certified by a trusted grading service like PCGS or NGC that can add confidence and value when you go to sell. When it comes time to sell, there are a few options. You can go to a local coin shop, which is fast and convenient, but you may not always get top dollar. Auction houses or online platforms like eBay can reach a wider pool of collectors and may bring higher prices, especially if your coin is in better condition. If you're a buyer, those same venues are good places to look, but always make sure you're dealing with reputable sellers to avoid counterfeits or altered coins. So why does this little coin still matter today? Well, the 1907 Indian head cent is more than just a collectible. It's a reminder of America in transition from the horse-and-buggy era to the automobile age. From small towns to sprawling cities, it's a piece of art created by James Barton Longacre, the U.S. Mint's chief engraver, whose design work has stood the test of time. And for collectors, it's a way to hold a piece of history in the palm of your hand. To wrap it up, the 1907 US 1-cent coin may not be the rarest or the most valuable coin out there, but it's a beautiful and meaningful part of American numismatics. With its iconic Indian head design, its connection to a fascinating period of US history, and its enduring popularity among collectors, it's a coin that deserves a place in any collection.